nightmare of a car. 289 in it, like broke down every month, but it was a cool car for a minute there.
What did they think of your career? What did they did they do they well? Are they proud of you now? I think they are, of course, but
I think now for sure. They didn't really understand it before. I was just super into it though. You know, I mean, my dad was supportive in the fact that he rented my first guitar. He rented an Area Pro 2 from this music store in Fremont. Came with a little pug nose 6-inch amp, and I sat there and learned. And I think he gave me like a time limit, like if I was into it for, you know, like if it wasn't a phase, you know, he would, you know, let me rent it again or whatever. And eventually I saved up enough money to buy the first guitar that I bought was an Ibanez Flying V that was candy apple red, like the sparkly red, and it was $400.
When did you buy it? What year?
I was 16 or 17.
So it was prior to the glam rock phase? I mean, with the Motley Crue and stuff like that?
No, they probably would have been going, but I was into metal at that point. I was into thrash and stuff like that, so. But I liked Motley Crue. I liked the first Motley Crue record a lot. Too Fast for Love. They were awesome.
But was your dad in rock music himself too?
Not at all. No, he was totally into oldies and
Jim Groce.
Dancey. Not even Jim Groce. He was into, like, my parents listened to a lot of old soul and R&B, you know, Chaka Khan and Commodores and Earth, Wind and Fire. That was all the stuff that I was raised around. You know, the nice Beatles, not the hippie Beatles, but the nice Beatles and that kind of stuff. So a lot of black music was played in my house, disco and the radio and stuff, but definitely nothing rock. So when I discovered it, it was all new for me. Everything was new. AC/DC, Van Halen, like, you know, new wave, punk rock, you know, things like that was all a totally foreign sound to me, and I loved it.
But did they warn you for this devilish music, or?
At first they did. They definitely were not into me listening to Black Sabbath. And when my mom saw the Venom record that I was listening to, she was really, really not into it. Like, you know, it's got the big pentagram and fucking Slayer and so they were. But, you know, at that point I was just like, this is what I like and this is what I'm listening to, and, you know.
Is there one song that, well, of yours that they actually like now? Did they say, well, Robert, I like this song, I like...
You know, it took my dad about 10 years to even see us play. So it was the Burning Red when my dad came and saw us for the first time, and that was in 99, maybe even 2000. No, you know, it was in 2000. And my mom just saw us for the first time last year.
What did it tell you afterwards?
My dad's super into it. My dad's into, like, the energy of it. You know, my mom totally didn't get it, like, at all. She was just like, you know, she's like associating it with, like, a preacher or something like that. I was like, huh? But my dad's since come to a bunch of shows. He came out I flew him out to London for the last London shows, and him and my stepmom they come out to all the shows every time we play the Bay Area. So he's super into it. He's into the energy, and, you know, I don't know if he necessarily, like, gets the music, but you know, he's proud of me, and he likes the intensity, and, you know, he's just like, you whip those people into a frenzy. He's like, you get them going. So he's stoked about that.
Okay. Another question. Do you still recall your first paycheck you had with making music? Was it special?
Yeah, totally. Well, the first paycheck I got with Machine Head, I think it was $6,900. Just a lot back then. I was like, fucking, I'm loaded. I went out and bought a car. I owed this lady named Debbie Abono, who was like my second mom. I owed her $400 or $300 from many years before that, and I always felt super bad around her because I hadn't paid her back yet. Went and paid her back. I went out and I bought a 1968 fastback Mustang that was flared out to look like a Shelby Cobra, Great Britain green with 2 white racing stripes going. It's fucking hard. Nightmare of a car. 289 in it. Like broke down every month, but it was a cool car for a minute there.
When was his paycheck?
What's that?
When did you get his paycheck?
This would have been 95.
95.
So about a year and a half after Burn My Eyes had come out, got the first paycheck.